Hello and welcome to the Slingshot Channel. In this episode, I will show you some cool new inventions of mine. For example, a compound bow that shoots small bolts at blazing speed, but also my double-armed crossbow with a conversion that makes it possible to cock it without putting it down. But first of all, I again have to say thank you to my biggest sponsor, Vikings. Without them, I'd probably be closed by now, because my income from YouTube due to the adpocalypse has been dropped to a level where I wouldn't be able to pay my bills, let alone buy some materials. But because of their loyalty, I'm still here and still have the best job in the world. And therefore, I have decided that this time I will sponsor them back. So I've been given them two of my coolest handmade slingshots that you can win. This is what I'm talking about. This actually is the strongest sling bow that I've ever built. It has a 62-pound draw weight, so it's really comparable to a strong recurve bow. But also, of course, it has the ram bone handle, and it has this deep tunnel that prevents the band to go through the whisker biscuit too quickly and destroy it. Low fork, high efficiency, very powerful slingshot bow. And the other one is this here. It's made from an huge and ancient block, and actually the making of is public on YouTube, so it is a collector piece. This piece of wood has probably been on the ground for 30 years plus or so. It's very, very comfortable. Of course, you should have rather big hands if you want to say that. And I will also band it up for you, do everything. All you have to do for this is play Vikings. But there is a challenge. Well, first of all, let me talk a little bit about the game. I said it a few times already, but it still is so cool because it's like one of the strategy games that we played in the 1990s and the 2000s. But now it's on a mobile. It's a pure mobile phone and has great graphics and a lot of action. What I really love on the game is that you can do what you can do best. So if you are a great economist, then you can make plenty of money in the game and really rule everything financially. Or if you're more like a warrior, you can simply attack your neighbors and take everything they have. It has all the aspects of a cool Viking life. And of course it is truly the return of the Viking era, because there's now 20 million downloads. 20 million downloads is an incredibly high number. Imagine that, it's mind-boggling. But it is because the game is so cool. Okay, now let me tell you what you need to do if you want to win. First of all, you have to download the game from my link down below. And you also get a few benefits, like a shield and 200 coins of gold, so you can buy some equipment. And of course now there's two different prices, because there's people that have never downloaded the game on the device that they're using. And this is the cool sling bow. And those people that have already downloaded the game are still playing and want to just keep on playing and try to win something here. For the newcomers, you have 2 weeks time to climb as high in the game as you can. And in 2 weeks we will close the contest. Then you would have to put your game name into the comment of my Facebook page, linked down below, and a screenshot of how high you gotten. And the one that has achieved the highest rankings within the short 2 weeks time frame will win this. So it's not a raffle, it's a contest, like true warriors. For this one, it's even more simple. Just play the game, catch a really interesting picture that you think represents the game well, and then post it as a comment on the Facebook post below. And folks, thanks for doing this, because it's only because you guys keep playing the game and keep downloading it that keeps this channel afloat. So we don't need any YouTube ad money. Okay, now the inventions part. Many of you will remember Instant Legolas. It's this thing here. It's actually, this is the entire thing. It's a magazine for 4 arrows, and you mount it onto your compound bow. I guess you could also use a recurve. And you simply remove the original arrow rest and attach this piece here, and then you clamp in the bowstring into this channel here. And then you have a repeating bow. All you have to do is pull it back and let go. And then you can shoot 4 shots in no time. I think it's a really cool invention. I really like it. Several people have made their own, and I think this has even potential as a commercial product. So if someone wants to do it, have a go. So now I'm thinking, if I want to increase the firing rate even more, why not shooting 2 or 3 arrows at a time? And this could be done, of course, by using shorter arrows. And shorter arrows is something that I happen to have around because I use them for my pistol crossbows. Like my famous Viper repeating pistol crossbow, 10-shot magazine, self-cocking, that we're selling for about 300 euros, and it's so much in demand that we've never been able to put any in stock, so they're constantly sold out. This is how people really love it very much. So just cock it, fire, cock it, fire, cock it, fire. You get the trick. Or this prototype that uses two of the same bows to generate twice as much power. The only problem that I still have is the cocking mechanism. The self-cocking lever is now too weak, and therefore I thought about using this kind of adapter for it. So this allows me to cock this with one hand, so simply by pressing it down, and then you see it automatically resets itself, and you can fire. Bam! A lot more power. And then you repeat the whole thing. Pretty easy. I don't really like this. I'm not happy with this yet because it's easy to cock, super easy to cock actually, but the problem is it's now so clumsy. So I'm thinking about going back to the original lever idea, but use a longer lever and use it also as a shoulder stock and also a more sturdy front handle so that I can really, you know, just use it like a strong break barrel air rifle. But other than that, this one is fairly cool already, don't you think? So these are the bolts that it's firing. And as you see, this is a very lightweight 6.5 gram bolt and very short. So it's about 6.5 inches, so same length as weight. This is it in comparison to a full-length arrow for a bow. Modern bow makers use a lot of tricks to make arrows lighter so they fly faster. So they use carbon fiber to make them lightweight, the shafts lightweight, you know, thinning out the fletches and everything. But of course, a normal bow could never shoot an arrow like this, just simply because it's just not long enough, obviously. So can we make it possible to shoot these short bolts out of a compound bow? I think we can. Here is what I came up with. Meet the Scatterbow. Let me show you its features. This is actually just a piece of wood that guides, that has like rails, so it guides the arrows, the small arrows like this. So they're completely running inside of a little groove and are guided from below and above, so they cannot escape. And the string runs in a slot between those. So, of course, this is not yet a repeater. It's just a single like muzzle loading device, and I will make it a repeater later on. I just wanted to test if this is a viable concept. So right now, to load it, what you have to do is you pull back the string and then you shift it over a little bit so it rests in this little notch here, so that the string is out of the way and I can start loading it. Now in theory you could put in 4 of these bolts, but 4 is actually a little much, because if you load in 4, then the first 2 won't be fully accelerated, because when the string stops here, then of course some of the bolts will already have left the muzzle and won't be accelerated anymore. You would have to make it longer to be able to shoot that. But I also wanted to shoot them very, very, very fast, and therefore I need to stay light. So 2 arrows are actually ideal for this, since they fly so fast, so much faster than any arrow that I've ever shot out of this thing. The big advantage of a compound bow is that due to the let-off, at this position, in fully drawn out position, there's almost no tension on here. So this means that even this weak wooden piece is sufficient to hold it back. Whereas if you would try the same here, where the draw weight is at its highest point, that would be impossible. Okay, the usual broadside of the barn test. From about, I would say, 15 meters. Okay, let's do it. Whoops! That was fast. Let's look at the arrows. Okay, as you see, they're pretty close together, and they stick in really, really hard. Wow. And actually, the tips are deep in the wood, and you have to pull out the shafts only. And actually, the shafts are even compressed a bit. As you can see here, the shafts have been compressed, so that's far harder than you can shoot them with the pistol crossbows. Okay, now we try the 30-meter shot. I don't think that there's much ballistics there so fast. Yeah, as I said, no ballistics. That is a pretty good group for a scatter gun from 30 meters. So what is next? Well, that's pretty easy to explain. I want to attach a magazine, so to this side. I will simply attach a magazine so I can put in, I don't know, maybe 10 bolts per, so I have 20 bolts in the magazine. And then you can go 2 shots, 2 shots, 2 shots. Wouldn't that be amazing? Really a one-man hailstorm of arrows. I think that will be exciting to see. It's not so easy to solve because I need to design something that lifts up the tip of the bolt when I'm pulling out, since then of course this rest method won't work anymore. So there needs to be some kind of lever that shifts up, that lifts up the tip of the bolt so the string can pass, and that needs to happen for the other bolt as well. So it's kind of a design challenge, but I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, I hope you liked this little experiment because I think that's the way to go. It will be so much fun, looking so much forward to the work. And actually, don't forget to take part in my Vikings contest, because even if you don't win, you still win, because then you will be able to watch me completing these design lines and other inventions instead of watching me on Facebook in my office suit going back to work. So I really appreciate your help. So, I hope you liked this, because that's it for today. Thanks and bye-bye.